This is the seated chest press machine. Primary muscle groups work is going to be the chest, with secondary being the triceps and the front deltoid. There are two adjustments on this machine, one at the seat and the second at the weights. Adjustments can be made to the seat based off of the diagram on the top left portion, based off your height. At that point, once you have your adjustment, you're going to place your feet onto the leg pads. At this point, you're going to have overhand grip on the handles. And to initiate this movement, you're going to lightly press forward on your feet, initiating the movement, and then drop your legs down, focusing on that you don't lock out your elbows during the movement. The negative portion is going to be about 2-second movement back, and then a 1-second movement forward. This is the chest press. This is the abdominal machine. Core muscle groups work is going to be your abdomen. There are 3 adjustments to this machine. The lever arm here, which is going to adjust the range of motion, the seat, and the amount of weight. You can identify what height based off of this diagram here. The movement is just going to be a crunch forward with your abdomen, roughly at a 90-degree angle, and back up with your feet planted firmly on the ground or on the foot pads. This is a bicep curl machine. There are 2 adjustments to this machine, one being the seat and the second being the weight stack. When you start in this position, you want to have your chest up and then the backs of your elbows firmly against the mat. You're going to lean forward, rotating the handle grips with an overhand grip towards you. The movement will be a 1-second up curl motion and then a 2-second negative portion, ensuring that you don't completely lock the elbows out. And back up, back down. This is the leg extension machine. Primary muscle groups worked are the quadricep. Start position is going to be with your back firmly against the mat and grasping the handles. You will extend your legs in a 1-second movement and then back down for 2 seconds. There are 2 adjustments on this machine, one being the seat and the second being the weight. Now this is a shoulder press machine. Primary muscle groups are going to be the shoulder, being the front deltoid. The movement initiated by taking a good seat position with your back firmly placed on the mat. Then you'll have an overhand grip. At this point, you'll extend your arms outward just prior to lockout with a 1-second movement, and then back down for 2-second negative. This is the seated row machine. Primary muscle groups work the upper back and biceps. In this movement, you're going to take a seat with a chest high position on the front mat. You're going to have an overhand grip on the handles. At this point, you're going to pull the handles towards you, just beyond parallel, and then release back. And a 1-second positive and a 2-second negative. This is the seated leg curl machine, focusing on the hamstrings. First, you're going to adjust the backrest to a position where your ankles sit firmly into the natural crest of your ankle. At this time, you'll adjust the thigh pad to sit firmly on your leg. And you can grasp the handles. At this point, you're going to curl your legs down in a 1-second positive movement to just beyond 90 degrees, and then extend out in a 2-second movement to just prior to lockout. This is the leg press machine. Predominant muscles are going to be your quadricep and your hamstrings, depending on your foot placement. Seating, you're going to set up the seat to where your legs are going to be just below 90 degrees. Foot placement on the lower portion is going to emphasize the quadriceps. Foot placement on the higher portion of the foot pad is going to focus on the hamstrings. To initiate the movement, you're going to extend your legs to just prior to full lockout in a 1-second movement, and then the negative is going to be a 2-second just prior to the weights touchdown.